Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Calhoun's, a local restaurant chain serving local food from local farms. At Calhoun's, you're eating corn, that's corn from East Tennessee. Tomatoes, they're from East Tennessee. Whenever possible, Calhoun's goes in and brings in everything they can, from cabbage to eggs, whatever. They bring it in locally whenever possible. That's why Calhoun's is the taste of Tennessee. In fact, it's the taste of East Tennessee, Calhoun's. All right, I want to welcome in the next two members of our panel. Two VFLs are with us, Mr. Bobby Scott, Mr. Shazan Bradley. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. This is our hot read segment, so two questions. I want to start with Jimmy and Ryan. Jimmy, you had audio this week on your radio show. Bob Shoop said that during the Georgia Tech game, he had to get in touch with Brady Hoke. He wanted Hoke to move the defensive tackles. They were playing too far off the ball. Okay, I didn't notice them move at any point where they got closer to the line of scrimmage, but is it wrong for me to take that as a little bit of throwing Brady Hoke under the bus?
Well, first off, Georgia Tech threw him under the bus. They threw all of them under the bus.
Ran over it. Yeah.
When I heard Shoop say that, I wasn't sure whether to take it as, hey, I needed to remind him, or was that part of the game plan, not part of the game plan. But when he did say that, I thought, you could certainly take it that way. So I don't know, and Ron, I don't know if you were there. When I first heard it, I didn't really take it as a, hey, man, I don't know why he didn't do this. It was just like, well, we told Brady we need to move up closer. So I didn't really take it as a hard shot throwing him under the bus, but I could certainly see where you would derive that.
Ryan, your thoughts on a comment like that?
Yeah, I was not there at the time the comments were made, but I think that's the kind of thing. Bob Shoop is a straight shooter. If you hear him enough, I think that's the thing you take away from that. I don't think he was intending to throw Brady Hoke under the bus with that, but like Jimmy said, I can see why you would take it that way, and I think that's definitely something that we'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the year. There's going to be some more blame thrown on to Bob Shoop at some point if this defense keeps it up, and will he have to do that to kind of save himself?
Will he take it or will he pass it on? Right. Okay. Bobby and Shazan, Florida dealing with a hurricane, and there's a chance, folks. I mean, they're not dealing with one hurricane. Nobody knows where Jose is going to go next. And that's not just Jose, that's Hurricane Jose, and for those that aren't keeping up. If you get one or two that go in there and mess up Gainesville pretty good, the Tennessee game could be moved somewhere else, could be moved to Knoxville, it could be postponed and played later. You could have to cancel a non-conference game later to work this one in. So you've got the possibility of this hurricane wreaking havoc with Tennessee's schedule this week. But Florida dealing with a hurricane. Their coaches and their players, they got family down there they're concerned with. They had to cancel their game this week, and that means they haven't had a chance to get back on the playing field since their awful their quarterback mess-ups against Michigan. They look terrible. Then you got Tennessee, who's going to have to go on the road to the Swamp where they have a hard time all the time. You're once again piling up the injuries. Third game in 13 days. So who's got the mental advantage here? Who would you rather be, Tennessee or Florida going into this thing? Shazan.
I'd rather be Tennessee. Florida, you've got the credit card issues that they're having down there also.
Yep.
Families are out. Power's not working. Where are we playing? Will Florida even be here when this thing's over? I'd much rather be on the Tennessee side.
And that's another thing. Let's say the Gainesville is okay. The Ben Hill Griffin Stadium is fine for next Saturday. Where are they practicing all week? Are they turning some of their facilities? I mean, that thing's kind of going up the West Coast, it looks like. Do they have to use some of their facilities for, areas for people could come in like refugees and stay? I can't think of the word, but anyway. Are they going to have to turn some of their facilities over to welcome in people who are out of their homes? You don't know. That could weigh into it. Bobby Scott, who would you rather be in this situation?
I probably would rather be Tennessee simply because of the weather factor and practice and everything like that. But we just hadn't had a good, we hadn't had a good run against Florida in a long time, and I would think that although I would say Tennessee, I think Florida has some, they have the goods on Tennessee right now, and I'm looking forward to the game.
Oh. Well, it's going to be interesting down at Gainesville because Tennessee, you get over the hump last year by beating them here, and it didn't look like you were going to for half. You got over the hump last year by beating them but you haven't snapped that swamp streak in a long, long time. In terms of Florida's suspensions, we've been talking about it here. The main ones are Antonio Cromartie and Jordan Scarlett, running back and wide receiver.
Callaway,
What did I say?
Cromartie.
Cromartie.
Sorry, Callaway, Antonio Callaway. Those are the two that are the most important.
Yeah.
Jim McElwain was asked this week if they were going to play coming up, and he just kind of shrugged like he doesn't know. We're not sure if this is a university suspension, believe it is, but in terms of knowing yay or nay if this suspension is going to carry into the Tennessee game, anybody?
No, I don't know. And I know there have been some reports out there, but there were also, I saw one report on somebody's account, and it was a fake account. So I don't really know for sure, and I've tried to reach out to somebody in Florida this morning. I haven't gotten an answer back yet. I guess we'll find out. But I do know this, in the past, Florida has been selective about when they suspended people. The SEC's come up with a rule in recent years that said if you have somebody that's suspended for an act, it has to be the next game. You can't cherry pick. You can't play them against Tennessee and then sit them against East Tennessee State the next week. So the SEC has said no more of that foolishness.
We got to catch a break, guys. Next, we're talking Quentin Dormady. How's he measuring up to previous fall quarterbacks? What do we think he can do moving forward? Is all of the turnover at receiver right now holding him back a little bit? Also, be sure to tweet us your questions because we're going to answer them. All of our VFL stick around for overtime. We'll answer your questions. Tweet them to us now. See you on the other side of this break.